गौरंगगंधार विकगिरिधारी शिष्य राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टो विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टो विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद शुतरशतशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद शुतरशतशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अशुतरशतशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्रीलगोक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौड़िय गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी शिकोर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल कोरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विरत गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टक की जय। श्री सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य चरितमृत की जय। श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोसाई पाद की जय। जय श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर भजन रहस्य की जय। जय श्री हरि नाम चिंतामणि की जय। जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। श्रीसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति विदितो कोडिय गौर्वन्वये भात भानुरिव प्रभात गगने योगोरसंकीर्तनाय मायावारतिमिङ्गिलो दरगतान् उद्धृत्य जीवानिमान् कृष्णप्रेमसुधाब्धिगाहन सुखां प्रादात् प्रभुं तं भजे। वन्दे भक्तिविनोदं श्रीगौरशक्तिस्वरूपकं भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञसम्राजं राधारससुधानिधिं नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वृषभानुसुतान् वितवामतनुं Yamuna Tatanagarnanda Sutam Murali Kalagita Vinoraparang Bhajagodrumakanana Kunja Vidum Smara Gaura Gadadara Keli Kalang Bhava Gaura Gadadara Pakshachara Shinu Gaura Gadadara Charukatam Bhajagodrumakanana Kunja Vidum Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Itti Vigyaya Devi Tvang Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptascha Kamadittaranga Madhe Kripamai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Saruparaya Sangha Harsha Shesha Bhoshanam Shikshanastakakya Krishna Kirtanaika Poshanam Prema Nama Matra Vishwa Jivanaika Samparam Prema Dhamma Devameva Nomi Gora Sundaram Premor Bhavita Harsheryo Danyarti Mishritam Lapitangorachandrasya Bhagyavadbhirnishevyate Prabhur Shikshashtak Shloka Jai Pore Shune Krishne Prema Bhakti Tar Bade Dine Dine. Whoever reads or hears the Lord Shikshashtak verses, that person's Prem Bhakti for Krishna increases day by day. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, dear devotees, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Nitai Mukeshji, and Gargarajji, Ganga Mataji. I don't know who else is there, maybe Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and also pranam to all devotees watching in the future, Shachi Devi, Revati Didi, Jai Dev Prabhu, Hari Bol. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. All right, so yeah, these days since I've been back in Navadip, I've been very what's the word? Just ungrounded, splayed out. I have I think I really need to spend today just to like really get clear on everything and ground myself and all that. So, but because I've been like this, my mind's also been like that. So yeah, I apologize. I'm not been anyways, what I need to stop apologizing all the time. But Haribol Tirtha Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. I haven't been I keep on wanting to go through Bhajana-rahasya on my own and just so that I can get some kind of idea of the flow of the first chapter. And I just have not been getting around to that. Um, but maybe if you wouldn't mind, maybe we can just do that right now. Instead of me doing it on my own, I'll just do it live right here. Otherwise, I probably just won't ever get around to it. Um, but first, before we start, let's recite the Shikshashtakam. Yeah, and with the Bhajana-rahasya, the flow isn't as Like usually Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's writing is super organized. It's like very everything has categories and it all has like a particular structure. But with Bhajana-rahasya, it's a little bit more it's a bit well, I mean, the whole book has a very like we saw the chart. It's very structured. But then also the flow verses, it's not clear to me yet. It seems more like yeah, but maybe I'm just not understanding it. That's why I want to do an overview. So, um, what am I looking for? Oh yeah, we're gonna recite the Śikṣāṣṭaka verses. Okay. चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादवाग्निनिर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावदो जीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदां पूर्णामृता स्वात्पनम् पूर्णामृता स्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजायते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस् तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काल एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशमिह जानिनानुराग तृणारपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतार्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि ऐनन्दतनुजकिङ्करां पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव कृपया तव पारपङ्कज स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलरशुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकार्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रवृषायितं शून्यायितं जगत् सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लिष्यवापाररतां पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनमर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न पराम्. Haribol, I just see it in Haribol Anadi Krishna Prabhu and Rohini Nandan Prabhu. Dandavat pranams. Oh, and I was just mentioning at the beginning, I'm feeling a bit this very ungrounded. My mind's splayed out, and I've I have a bunch of things going on, and I can't. Yeah, my mind's just like all over the place, and I'm having a difficult time focusing. And something I haven't been getting around to, which I keep on mentioning like over and over again, is doing an overview of the Bhajana-rahasya first chapter. And so I thought I might as well just, because I'm not getting around to doing it on my own. And so I thought maybe I'll just do it here right now, if you don't mind. Haribol Vidilala Sadidi. Um, and this is just going to be very rough. And maybe I can fill it out. I think if I just get a start on it, then I'll be able to fill it out more on my own. Um, but yeah, I just want to have just a basic understanding of the flow, the topics in the first chapter. And so I don't think this will take so long. I'm just going to open up on another Word document. And then today we will be finishing this chapter. We'll complete this chapter. All right. So, seems like verse 1 and verse 2 are both pranams to Shachinandan Gaur Hari. So he starts off here. I'll write it in big letters so you can see what I'm writing. Okay. Okay, so how should I do this? I'll just write text 1 to 2. How should I do this? I'll just do it like that. Pranams to Mahaprabhu. Okay. Then text 3, he's glorifying Harinam, right? Whatever fruit can be obtained in Satya Yuga by performing austerities and so on for hundreds of years can be obtained in the age of Kali simply by chanting the names of Sri Govinda. So from text 3, text 4 is also Sri Hari's name possesses such potency to destroy sins that it can counteract more sins than even the most sinful person can commit. Then text 5 also, sins are destroyed with great effort by remembering Vishnu, but so he's telling the superiority of kirtan over smaran. And then verse 6, the holy name of Sri Hari is eternally present only on the lips of one who has perfectly worshipped Vasudeva for hundreds of births. So how rare it is to be able to chant Sri Harinam. So verses 3 to 6 are all about the glories of Harinam. The glories of Harinam. And also verse 6, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives an overview of how of Bhajana-rahasya, right? He goes through the different pairs of names. The first Hare Krishna, then the first pair Hare Krishna, the second pair Hare Krishna, then Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And he explains how this relates to the different stages of bhakti. I mean, the stages of sadhan bhakti. Right? Yeah. So, verse 6, he gives an overview. Okay. I'm doing this really messily right now, and then I can fix it up later. What's text 7? Then 7, he goes through the stages of bhakti from Shraddha to Prem. Okay. Then text 8, he talks about giving up bad association. Whether I am burned by fire or remain encaged forever, I will never, ever desire the association of those who are averse to Krishna. It is better to live with or embrace a snake or tiger or an alligator than to associate with those whose hearts are filled with varieties of material desires and who worship various demigods. And then he's talking about the power of namabhas. Okay, so verses 8 to 9, he's talking about giving up bad association. And then verse 10, the power of namabhas. Okay. Let's just read this from Rupa Goswami. O reservoir of good qualities, just faithfully perform bhajan of Sri Krishna without duplicity. He is the supreme savior among all saviors, and the most exalted of those worshipped with poetic hymns. When even a slight appearance of his name, which is like the sun, arises in the cave of one's heart, It destroys the darkness of great sins that are present there. Okay, and then here he's going through verse 10. He goes through and in Bengali, sorry, and his Bengali verses. What is this? Let's explain. Parama Pavana Krishna Tahar Charan Nishkapata Shraddha Saha Koroho Bhajan Jar Nama Surya Bhasa Antara Praveshi Tangsha Kori Mahapap Andakara Rashi E Shikshashtak Kohe Krishna Lila Kram Ihate Bhajana Krame Lilar Udgam Pratama Pratam. Okay, so here he's going through explaining how Shikshashtak relates to the stages of bhakti, whatever, the stages of bhakti, right? He just gave this verse, Adao Shada Tatha Saru Sangha, and then he explained the power of Namabhasa and is going through, and I guess I wonder why he explained Namabhas here. Maybe because we start from chanting Namabhas, but then our name becomes more pure and more pure, and it directly relates to how our advancement in bhakti, the different stages that we reach. It's directly proportional to how pure our name is. I remember where did we read that? I think that was in, yeah, it was in was it Krishna Bhajanamrita? It was explaining that the way you determine what stage somebody's at in bhakti is how pure their name is. However pure your name is, that much you are considered a devotee. It's the less pure your name is, the less you are a devotee. It's like exactly relational. So okay. Now the next verse is fine. Now he begins Shikshashtakam. So text 11 is first verse of Shikshashtak. Oops. Anyways, whatever. I'm gonna fix this up later. And then I don't understand why, but he goes through right after that. He gives verse 12 of no, sorry, verse text 12. He goes through verse 7 of Srila Rupa Goswami's Krishna Namashtak. Srila Rupa Goswami's Namashtak, verse 7. Okay. And then 13. What's 13? That now he's going through and explaining. He's going through and explaining, like giving verses from different places, Srimad Bhagavatam, couple verses, yeah, 3 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, then the Skanda Puran, also Skanda Puran, and I don't know where this is from, Garuda Puran. And these are all another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. These are all going through and illuminating um, like the 7 excellent results of chanting Krishna Nam Sankirtan in the first verse of Shikshashtakam. It's going through and explaining each one of those different places from scripture. So that's verses all the way up to verse 24. Yeah. Okay. So from 13 to 24, verses describing, I don't know, verses illuminating the first verse of Shikshashtak. Okay. Now 25. 25, he gives verse 8 and verse 2 of, okay, so 25 and 26. 25 to 26 is verses, what was it? 8 and 2 of Namashtak, Srila Rupa Goswami's Namashtak. Okay, now verse 27. It's giving verses from the Rig Veda, which describe the truth from the holy name. Also from Rig Veda, truth of the holy name. 3 verses from, or 3 sections of Rig Veda. Okay, so 27 to 29. 27 to 29 is I don't know, Rig Veda on Nam Tattva, I guess. Okay, now 30 is this section from Chaitanya Bhagavat where Mahaprabhu instructs everybody to chant Harinam. So verse 30, this is the first time I've ever, I wonder if there are any other Bengali verses. Okay, so Mahaprabhu's instructions to chant Harinam from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Okay, now verse 31. What's this? This is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The holy name is a bestower of all perfection, and those who continuously chant Harinam with such firm faith and conviction quickly obtain the fruit of prem. Is this where we read up to yesterday? Can't actually remember what we read up to. Anyways, these are the last, what? Last 8 verses. So maybe, yeah, we'll just go through this. But I'm going to try to develop this more, but at least I got a start on it. Usually if I start something, then I'll get around to finishing it. Starting is always the hardest part. But okay, so let's just look at this. First, he offers pranam to Mahaprabhu, and then verse 3 to 6, he goes through the glories of the holy name. And on verse 6, then he writes a bunch of Bengali verses giving an overview of the Mahamantra, how it relates to the different stages of Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, like that. And then he gives those stages, Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. Then there's 2 verses about giving up bad association. First, we just have to give up bad association. We're not going to get anywhere if we're staying in bad association. Then the power of Namabhas. And then he gives a bunch of Bengali verses showing how the verses of Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka relate to all these stages, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, and Arthanavritti. And then finally he gives the first verse of Śrī Śikṣāṣṭakam, that's text 11. And also Rupa Goswami's verse from Namashtak 7. And then from 13 to 24, so big portion of this chapter, he gives verses illuminating the first verse of Śrī Śikṣāṣṭakam. And then verses 8 and 2 of Namashtakam. Then 3 verses from the Rig Veda Nam Tattva, then Mahaprabhu's instructions to chant Harinam from Chaitanya Bhagavat, and now we're going to see what the rest of this is. What are the topics? Gives instructions for how to chant. Oh yeah, we read that yesterday, I remember that. Yeah, more instructions, okay. And then verse 34, Gopal Guru Goswami explains the meaning of the holy name. Going to go through Gopal Guru's explanation of the holy name. Then 35 is that famous verse, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Eva Kevalam. Then 36 is, if your mind is not absorbed in the name of Bhagavan, Achyuta, then day and night, without shyness, chant those principal names that are endowed with a rati. Minimize sleep, eat moderately, and proceed on the path of spiritual truth with a peaceful mind and disregard for worldly things. And then only the worship of Bhagavan Srivasudev performed through Nam Sankirtan is called Bhakti Yoga. This alone is a supreme dharma for the living entities. And then the last verse of each chapter, he goes through the Leela that corresponds to that time of the day. So he goes through Radha and Krishna's Nishanta Leela, the end of the night, the end of the night. Okay. So today our reading's all going to be about just practical instructions for how we chant. How are you supposed to chant Harinam? Maybe I'll write that down here. Okay. Now I'm getting a little bit more of an idea of the flow, although I'm still not fully clear. But it seems like when it comes to topics of bhajan, it's like when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining different things that we were reading, like everything was super structured. But then when it comes to topics of bhajan, there is some structure to it, but it's a little bit more free. I'm just thinking of the Godrum Chandra Bhajan Upadesh. That that song. It's like I forgot how many verses it is. Maybe like 20 verses or 30 verses. Um, but it's one of my favorite. One of my favorite stotrams because it's there's no topic to it. It goes all over the place. Sometimes some of the verses are instructions, some of the verses are meditations on Radha and Krishna. Some of the verses are and different aspects of the Lord's glories, and it's just like some of the verses are just nam. It's like there's no structure, and it's you can see that this is just what's arising in his heart spontaneously, and he's just and the path of bhajan. That's like once you get to the we were reading about that, right? In Harinam Chintamani, the Swarasiki Upasana, like where just Radha and Krishna's pastimes, there's no order to it, there's no time period of the day, there's everything's just coming, different pastimes of different places, and it's all just coming one by one and no order, and it keeps on changing, and like that's like the really high stage of uh, bhajan. Um, it's kind of yeah, when you get more into the realm of bhajan, then it seems like it's like that. It's not as uh, you know, everything in the beginning stages when there isn't any taste, everything's very structured and very like rigid and like that. But then yeah, everything becomes more free and anyhow, I'm gonna shut up. Let's start reading now. Okay. Um, Haribo Chatamai Mataji. Okay. I'm going to just reread these, even though we already went through this yesterday. I'm going to reread it just so that we get the flow. So now, from now on, it's going to be instructions on how to chant Harinam from Mahaprabhu. First, Mahaprabhu's instructions. So the Lord said, this is in Chaitanya Bhagavat Madhya Kanda 23:77 to 78. The Lord said, regularly chant this Maha Mantra. In this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhu bole kohilaya e Mahamantra. Iha japa giya sabe koriya nirbanda. There's in Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj's Samadhi, they have this track of him chanting Mahamantra, like chanting japa. Hare Krishna, Hare. It's so beautiful, actually, so beautiful. And but then he also says these verses here. Prabhu bole, like just in the middle. And these are really nice to memorize. I've mentioned this a few times, but on Navadvip Parikrama, it's very common for devotees to sing these verses here. Prabhu, like just in the middle of the Mahamantra Kirtan, then they'll just all of a sudden start singing this. Prabhu bole kohilaya e Mahamantra, iha japa giya sabe koriya nirbanda, iha hoite sarva siddhi hoibe sabar, sarva khan bolo ite vidhi nahi ar. So the Lord said, regularly chant this Maha Mantra. In this way, you will attain all perfection. Chant at any time and in any circumstance. There are no rules for chanting. And then Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 12103 states, the holy name is the bestower of all perfections. Those who continuously chant Harinam with such firm faith and conviction, they quickly obtain the fruit of prem. Okay, I think I'll read the Sanskrit from this point on because I think we stopped here, right? Okay, so Hari Bhakti Vilas and all these different sections from Hari Bhakti Vilas, 17th Vilas, um, gives the following injunctions for chanting. Tulasi Kashta Ghatitair Mani Bhir Japamalika Sarvakarmani Sarvesham ipsitartha phala prada ko pucha sadrishi karya yadva sarpa kriti shubha tarjanya na sprishet sutram kampayen na vidhunayet angushta parva madhyastang parivartam samacharet na sprishet vamahastena karabhrashtam na karayet bhuktau muktau tata krishtau madhyamayam japet sudhi. I think we already read this, didn't we? Anyways, I'm just going to read it again. Yeah, we did. Okay. A japa mala made of tulsi or precious stones fills all kinds of inner desires. A japa mala shaped like a cow's tail or a snake is auspicious. I think, does that mean like it's big and then it goes small, right? Like the first beat is big and then it goes smaller, 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 smaller. That's what I'm guessing. One should not touch the japa mala with the forefinger. One should not swing or shake the mala again and again while chanting. I've seen people do that when they chant Hare Krishna and they swing the japa mala, but don't shake or swing your mala when you chant. Chant and change the direction of the mala using the thumb and the middle finger. Do not touch the mala with the left hand, and do not let it fall from the hand. Sometimes that happens to me when I get really sleepy. Sometimes my mala will fall from my finger and I have to start over again. But no, don't let that happen. Those who desire material enjoyment and those who desire liberation chant with the middle finger. Yeah, I remember somebody telling me that I should chant with this finger, like the finger that you used to put on tilak. And but then my Gurudev says that what does he say in the commentary? He says, so I tried doing that and it was really awkward. But then my Gurudev says, although it is mentioned that one can use a japa mala. Okay, a japa mala of precious stones, such a mala is not used in our sampradaya. Maybe in another sampradaya you can. And then also it is mentioned that the chanting with the middle finger is for those desiring sense enjoyment and liberation. Nonetheless, we chant in this way because we follow the method adopted by our Guru Parampara. So, okay, I guess we can still chant with our middle finger. But I'm just curious, has anybody here chant with their their tilak finger? Or do they know, have they ever heard of any of our acharyas chanting with that finger? I'd be interested to know. Okay, now text 33. Hari Bhakti Vilas 17:129 states, Manasangharanam shocham monam mantrartha chintanam avyagratvam anirvedo japa sampatti hetava. This is so practical, so important. Oh yeah, I forgot to share this video with Vidya Didi. I'll share this in our group after. While chanting, one should be one-pointed and give up talking about mundane topics. With a pure heart, one should think about the meaning of the holy name and be steadfast and patient in one's chanting and remembrance of the holy name. So how many things there are? What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different instructions here for when we chant Harinam. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has it in Bengali. Japakale manake ekagra bhave loho. So that's 1. Chitte shuddha thako. That's 2. Vritta khatta nahi koho. That's 3. Namarta chintaho sada. That's 4. Dharyashraya koro. That's 5. Namate adar kori Krishna nama smara. That's 6. Okay, so I'm going to reread this because I need to hear it again. The method for one to perfect the chanting of his mantras, and this refers both to Harinam and to one's Gayatri, is described in this text. So first is, and remember this is from Hari Bhakti Vilas. So first is Mana Sangharanam. That means while chanting the holy name, one should fix the mind on the desired name of the Lord and remember pastimes connected with that name. Is Sangharan mean like bringing under control? Like, or focusing? I just want to see this word in the Sanskrit dictionary. Let's see. What's Sangharana mean? Sanskrit dictionary. Okay. Sangharan. Didn't come up in the dictionary. Let's just ask ChatGPT. How do I find Sangharanam in the Sanskrit dictionary? This is just, you can see a little. Sangharanam is a neuter noun derived from the verbal root hri, which means to take, carry, and the prefix sam, together, completely, and the and the action and the action noun suffix anam. So if you want to look it up, you have to look up hri with the prefix sam. I did look up this directly under Sangharan. I did look up Sangharan and it didn't come up. Oh, I wonder if it's because ah, oh, it's IAST, and I think IAST has a different ma. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. Sorry, guys, I'm taking too much time. But yeah, we could look up ri and its suffix. Anyways, I'm just gonna see what. Always take anything that you see with ChatGPT. Always take it with a grain of salt. But here, meanings include withdrawing, taking away, removing, destruction, annihilation, collection, gathering together, conclusion. So maybe withdrawing the mind and gathering it together, and then focusing on the name. Mana Sangharanam. What was it in the verse? It says one pointed. They translated Mana Sangharanam as being one pointed. Okay. Right? Huh. Okay. And then Shocha. It is necessary for the sadhak to maintain a standard of external cleanliness by bathing and so forth, and to keep his mind pure through internal cleanliness. So yeah, no, we don't just think of your body, which gets dirt, like, after you sleep and you get all oily and gross, or if you do hard work, you get all sweaty and stuff like that. That's externally, but you also have to keep your mind pure through internal cleanliness. And for me, watching YouTube, that's like what really gets my internally dirty, like all this junk that I let in my brain. And so, no, I have to clean myself from that before I chant also. He can do this by bringing the six enemies headed by lust under control. In this way, his mind will not be attracted to anything other than Krishna. Okay, then Mona. Mona means to speak only Bhagavad Gita and reject talk unrelated to Krishna. This is known as Mona. Real silence, it's silence from talking about material things. But Bhagavad Gita doesn't mean that we should just be mute, but no, we should speak Bhagavad Gita. One should not talk about anything mundane while chanting. I need to work on that one also. Then avyagrata. The restless nature of the unsteady mind is called vyagrata. One should chant with avyagrata, a peaceful and undisturbed mind. Then anirved. One should not become discouraged by moving slowly in one's endeavor to attain the desired goal. Rather, one should chant with patience. And then nam artha chintan. While chanting mantras, the sadhak should remember Sri Radha Krishna's pastimes of meeting and separation, Milan and Vipralamba. When he chants his mantras, he should practice in the following 5 ways. But before we go into that, I just want to look at this one last time. Mana Sangharanam. So I think that's gathering your mind, fixing it, and withdrawing it from material things, and then fixing it on right? And then shocha, cleanliness, internally, externally. Mona, not speaking about anything mundane, only speaking Bhagavad Gita. Then Anirved, having some patience. Nirved means despondency, right? And one second, just looking up Nirved. Nirved is one second. Nirved is apathy, indifference. It also means repentance or remorse, like that. Dejection, despondence, disgust. I'm guessing here it means like apathy and indifference, though. Or no, it's all anyways. It's all these things, all these negative feelings. But no, we should not have that. It has the word before it. Actually, let's look at Nirved. Oops, that's not in the dictionary. But anyways, it's the opposite of Nirved. And so we shouldn't become discouraged, but no, we should chant with patience and hope. I think that's an important word here, having hope when we chant, not just feeling hopeless and being discouraged, but no, we should chant with patience and hope. And then Namartha Chintan. And when we chant the mantras, we should remember the meaning, the artha of the name. Nam, artha, chintan. So name, meaning, contemplation, thinking about that. And in the pairs of names, there is Vipralamba, there's Milan and Vipralamba, right? Like all the pairs of names that are Hare Krishna, that's Milan. And then Krishna Krishna, that's Vipralamba. Hare Hare, those are Vipralamba. Then Hare Ram, those are Milan. And then Ram Ram, Hare Hare, that's Vipralamba, right? So we have to, and there's so many explanations. There's this book, Harinam Mahamantra, that my Gurudev published, and it goes deeply into all the meanings of the pairs of names, um, which is filled with Milan and Vipralamba, meeting and separation. And also, just another thing is we know I've mentioned this a bunch of times, and I think everybody knows this, right? But just according to Sanskrit grammar, every word in Sanskrit has a particular case. Like a word is either um, my brain's not working, but anyways, grammatically, I mean, um, Hare Krishna is in the Sambodhan case. Sambodhan means you're addressing. So it means, O Krishna, O Hara, O Krishna, O Hara, O Krishna, O Krishna, O Krishna, O Hara, O Hara. Yeah, it's like grammatically, you're calling out. You can't use that in any other way grammatically. And so when you're chanting, you're not just chanting the names of Krishna, but you're actually calling out to Krishna. You're saying, "Oh Krishna, oh Krishna, oh oh Radhe, oh Radhe." Like, yeah. And so we should be aware of that that we have to think of the meaning of the name when we're chanting. And of course, there are very deep meanings, but that's like the most basic meaning is just it's in Sambodhan. It's in the vocative case. So now my Gurudev explains when somebody chants his mantras, and remember he said that this refers to the Maha Mantra and also to your Anik, your Gayatri mantras, the mantras given by Guru. We should practice it in the 5 ways. So first, the sadhak should know the meaning of the mantra. He should remember the predominating deity of the mantra and his own specific relationship with that deity. And then 2 is nyas. The deity of the mantra is my protector. This conviction is called nyas. The deity of the mantra is my protector. It is true that success can be attained by uttering the mantra one time only. Nonetheless, the mantra is uttered 10 or 108 times for the pleasure of the mantra devata. This is called nyas. And then prapatti. I take shelter of the lotus feet of the mantra devata. So surrender. Prapatti means surrender. And then Sharanagati. I don't know what the difference between Prapatti and Sharanagati is. That's interesting. Um, okay, so I am a jiva who is suffering greatly, and therefore I surrender to the deity. This resolve is Sharanagati. And then fifth is Atma Nivedan. Whatever I have belongs to him. It is not mine. I do not even belong to myself. I am I am his for him to enjoy. This is Atma Nivedan. That's also like Sharanagati. So the last three, Prapatti, Sharanagati, and Atma Nivedan. It's all like very similar. I actually don't really know so clearly the difference between them. Okay. Now, if the devotee follows the process comprised of these five limbs, he will quickly attain perfection in chanting his mantras. Very interesting. I've never seen this list before. I wonder what the meaning of the mantra, then nyas. Anyways, I'm not gonna, it's already getting late, so I'm not gonna look up nyas. Okay, now, text 34. Sri Gopal Guru Goswami explains the meaning of the holy name as follows. Vegyapya bhagavat tattvam chedghanananda vigraham haratya vidyam tatkaryam atto harir iti smrita harati Shri Krishna mana Krishna hlada swarupini atto harittane naiva Shri Radha parikirtita Anandaika Sukha Swami Shama Kamalalochana Gokulanandan sorry Gokulanandano Nanda Nandana Krishna Iryate Vaidagdi Sara Sarvasvam Murti Lila Dhidaivatam Radhikam Ramyam Nityang Rama Ityabhidhiyate. So Gopal Guru explains, the Supreme Person, Sri Bhagavan, has descended in the form of the holy name, which is the embodiment of condensed knowledge and bliss, Chit and Ananda. While remembering the name of Bhagavan, one should remember that Nam and Nami are non-different. In the first stage of a sadhak's progress, the holy name removes ignorance. Therefore, he is Hari, he who removes. This is kind of what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was explaining in verse 6 and all the Bengali verses that he wrote there, right? I think so. Then the Rasika Acharyas, however, taste Harinam by thinking that in the Kunjas, Vrishabhanunandini Sri Radha is stealing away the mind of Sri Hari by her service. Okay, so these are two levels of understanding. First understanding is that it removes ignorance. But then it means that Radha, so it's stealing away all our bad things, all our ignorance. But and the Rasik meaning is that Vrishabhanu Nandini steals away the mind of Shri Hari by her service. He who chants Hare Krishna with this meditation attains Prem Bhakti. Wow, so beautiful. Shri Radha is Krishna Ladini Rupini, the embodiment of Krishna's own pleasure potency. She steals away Krishna's mind, and therefore her name is Hara. So Hara is like the thief, stealer. So she who steals Krishna's mind, that's Hara. The vocative form of Hara is Hare. Thus, Hare Krishna means the divine couple Shri Radha Krishna. The names Radha and Krishna are Satchid Ananda, full of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Radha and Krishna are personally present in Hare Krishna. The eternal master of Shri Radha, who is bliss personified, is Sham, who has eyes like lotus petals and who desires that Shri Radhika is always happy. That Sham always desires that Radhika is happy. Nandanandan Shri Krishna, the giver of bliss to the residents of Gokul, is always yearning to taste happiness with Shri Radha. Krishna is Lileshwar. He is a clever Dhir Lalit Nayak. And there's a footnote here. Dhir Lalit Nayak is a hero who is expert in the 64 arts and in amorous sports. Always situated in fresh youth, expert at joking, devoid of anxiety, and controlled by the prema of his beloveds. That person is known as a Dhir Lalit Nayak. He's controlled by the prema of his beloveds, devoid of anxiety, expert at joking, situated in fresh youth, expert in the 64 arts and amorous sports. That's a Dhir Lalit Nayak. Therefore, his name is Radha Raman. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is comprised of names of the divine couple. While chanting this mantra, one should remember their pastimes. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives this Bengali rendition of that. Chir Ghana Ananda Rupa Shri Bhagavan Nama Rupe Avatar Eto Praman Avidya Harana Karya Hoite Nama Hari Ataeva Hare Krishna Name Jai Tari Krishna Hlada Swarupini Shri Radha Amar Krishna Man Hare Tai Hara Nam Tar Radha Krishna Shabdeshi Sachirananda Radha Krishna Shabdeshi Sachirananda Rup Hare Krishna Shabde Radha Krishner Swarup Ananda Swarupa Radha Tar Nitya Swami Kamala Lochana Sham Radhananda Kami. Radhananda Kami is always desirous that Radha is happy, Ananda, Radhananda Kami. Gokula Ananda Nanda Nandana Shri Krishna, Radha Sange Sukashvade, Sarvada Satrishna. Vaidagdya Sara Sarvasva Murta Lileshwar Shri Radha Ramana Rama Nama Atapar Hare Krishna Mahamantra Shri Yugala Nam Yugala Lilar Chinta Koro Aviram. Then my Gurudev explains this. He says, and it will end after this. Gurudev says, Shri Krishna is a personification of condensed eternity, knowledge, and bliss, Satchid Ananda. He is an ocean of compassion. The clear proof of this is that he has appeared on this earth in the form of his name for the benefit of the living entities. This form of Shri Hari is performing the task of removing ignorance. Therefore, those who affectionately chant Hari Nam are saved from this illusory world, which is the product of ignorance. Shri Radha is the essence of the Hladini Shakti, and she is always giving supreme pleasure to Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna. She even steals away the mind of Param Purush Shri Krishna with her sweet form and qualities, and by her prem-filled service. Therefore, one of her names is Hara. She steals, the stealer. Hare in the Mahamantra is the vocative form of Hara, which refers to Shri Radha. Thus, the devotee who is exclusively committed to the divine couple, the Aikantik Bhakta, that Aikantik Bhakta accepts Radha and Krishna as the only meaning of Hare Krishna. Shri Radha is a personification of bliss. She is Ananda Swarupini. Kamala Lochan, he who has lotus-like eyes, Shama Sundar, is her eternal beloved. He is always intent on pleasing Shri Radha, but he nonetheless remains indebted to her. The source of the great festival of bliss of Gokul, Nanda Nandan, is a supremely attractive attractor. Therefore, he is named Krishna. Even though he always tastes happiness in Sri Radha's association, he is never satiated and is ever eager for more. He is famous as Radha Raman because he, Lileshwar, the personification and essence of all Vaidagdya, of all cleverness and amorous pastimes, he is always with Sri Radha, playing. That means Raman. He is always playing inside and outside her heart. That's the Ram means. It refers to Radhika Raman. Radhika Raman means he who is playing inside and outside the heart of Sri Radha. This Radha Raman, Sri Krishna, he is called Rama in the Mahamantra. Okay, so when we're chanting Mahamantra, we should remember that. What does Rama mean? It means Radha Raman. He who is the personification and essence of all cleverness and amorous pastimes, and who is always with Sri Radha, playing inside and outside her heart. It should be understood that Hare Krishna in the Mahamantra means Radha Krishna Yugal. Therefore, while performing japa or kirtan of the Mahamantra, One should continuously remember the pastimes of the divine couple, Sri Radha Krishna. Jai. Wow, it's beautiful. um, okay, I'm just going to read the translations for these verses, and then we'll go through the Sanskrit and commentary tomorrow. But in Kali Yuga, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam. In Kali Yuga, there's no other way for the living entity than chanting the holy name. Chanting the holy name, chanting the holy name. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is absolutely no other way. 3 times for emphasis. And then verse 36. If your mind is not absorbed in the name of Sri Bhagavan Achyuta, then day and night, without shyness, chant those principal names that are endowed with rati, such as Radharaman, Rajvallabh, Gopijana Vallabha. Minimize sleep, eat moderately, and proceed on the path of spiritual truth with a peaceful mind and disregard for worldly things. That's what we should do. If your mind is not absorbed in the name of Bhagavan, then we have to chant all the time. Ads, minimize sleep, eat moderately, and yeah, have a peaceful mind, disregard for worldly things. Then only the worship of Bhagavan Shiva, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam now, only the worship of Bhagavan Shiva Vasudeva performed through Nam Sankirtan is called Bhakti Yoga. This alone is the supreme dharma for the living entities. So anything that you do that doesn't involve Nam Sankirtan at all, you're not thinking of the name or chanting the name while you're doing it, that can't be called Bhakti Yoga. Everything, Srila Jiva Goswami says that, right? That every limb of bhakti must be performed in conjunction with kirtan. And then finally, text 38 is the Lila Kirtan, about Radha and Krishna awakening from their sleep. First, Vrinda Devi, she indicates to the Shuka and Sari to make sweet sounds to awaken Radha and Krishna. A cool, gentle, fragrant breeze is slowly blowing. This is the Mangalarti song that my Param Gurudev wrote. It's all about this. So waking up Radha and Krishna. And then they have to leave. And anyways, this is so beautiful. This is really juicy. We're going to read this tomorrow. Yeah. All right. That's our program for today. Jai Ho. And I'm very grateful for all of you being so patient with me and letting me use this time as rather than like presenting anything. I'm just using this as my personal study time. And so it's taking forever and I'm making you guys wait for a lot but yeah, thank you for being patient with me. All right. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swaparsha Ji Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopikan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Bhajana-rahasya Ki Jai, Jai Shri Chaitanya Śikṣāṣṭaka Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Maha Mantra Ki Jai, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai, Shri Krishna Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi
Oh.
Devai, Priyai Keshavashta, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi, Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Pancha Kalpurubhyashta, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams, Nari Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Chattamai Mataji, Brian, and there are 8 devotees on YouTube and Facebook. Gargarajji, Ganga Mataji, Tirthapad Prabhu, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Vidyalala Didi, Yashoda Didi, Nitai Mukesh is there, and I'm guessing Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and different of the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi and Jayadev Prabhu, Revati Didi, and Ganga Mataji saying she's very grateful. I'm on my own and won't be able to read. Oh, thank you so much, Ganga Mataji. Yes, Niri Hari Prabhu, you're about to say something?
Yes, yes. We want to tell you that we really appreciate you being like that, so frank and direct, and we're studying with you. And so personal. So it's wonderful. We feel like you taking us with you. We feel like we are there, and that I think is really appreciated by all of us here.
Thank you. All right, that makes me feel
Thank
better.
you. We want to
I
thank
always
you.
feel like I'm
And
like
our
being
nephew
very...
Atmaram is here with us visiting.
Haribo Ram.
Kusha Devi.
Krishna Devi. Haribo.
Velocity, verbosity, velocity.
Haribo.
Verbosity. Haribo.
Jai Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Yes, Chatamai Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I really appreciate your going over some of the translations for the Maha Mantra. And it was reminding me that in the Nimpadita Sampradaya, they have the Maha Mantra in the form that goes like this. Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Sham, Sham, Radhe Radhe.
Well, I've actually, I've heard when I was in Keshuvji Gaudiya in Mathura with Sheshai Prabhu, you know Sheshai Prabhu, right? He was for anybody who doesn't know him, Sheshai Prabhu was he was there when Srila Prabhupada took sannyas, actually. He put on saffron cloth the day Srila Prabhupada took sannyas. And he has lots of memories of Srila Prabhupada. You could read them in Mula Prakriti Mataji's book. But sometimes he would do that. Like he would do, I mean, he didn't do that very often, but I remember he was singing Mahamantra and then he'd say, Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe Sham, Sham. I was like, oh, whoa, interesting. So I didn't know that came from, that's what they chant in the Nimbarka Sampradaya.
Yes, yes.
Very
And
fascinating.
I did ask His Holiness Saranjan Swami, why can't I chant that as well? And he said, oh no, you are in this Gaudiya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, and we only chant Hare Krishna as it is. So that was
Yes.
helpful.
I mean, I don't think there's anything, like if we're doing kirtan, there's no problem if you sing Radhe Krishna, like, a couple times, but that's not what we chant in our Japamala. That's not, Mahaprabhu, we just read that section in Chaitanya Bhagavat, right? Mahaprabhu
Yeah, there it is.
specifically
What
that
better
Hare
evidence
Krishna.
than that?
Yes. And there's so many evidences. My Gurudev published a book in Hindi and we translated it into English called Harinam Mahamantra. And the beginning part of the book, he goes through all the different scriptures which establish this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, all these ancient scriptures that establish the Mahamantra. And then the book goes through explaining the deep meanings from different, I think Gopal Guru Goswami, but then there are also different, I forgot which acharyas, maybe Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, I can't remember, but and they give very deep explanations for each pair of names.
Wow.
So much contained in this Mahamantra, like we can never imagine. Everything, yeah, that's why it is the Maha Mantra. It's the ultimate, supreme, topmost, glorious, great mantra. There's no mantra superior to it. So,
Ki Jai. Well, thank you so much. It's a wonderful class, Prabhu.
Haribo. Okay, thank you, Rohini Nandan Prabhu. Thank you. Right, Haribo. All right, so that's our program for today. And tomorrow we only have like 2 verses. So, and maybe tomorrow we can. Now I did like my first going through it, my first overview of everything, and now maybe I can fill it out tomorrow, and so then we can get an even more clear idea, at least just like a bird's eye view of the flow of the first chapter of Bhajana-rahasya. All right. Dandava. I mean, of course, this is the deepest thing possible meant for those who are like at a very high level. But I don't know. I'm just even trying to get just the most basic structure, and I'm not even really touching it or entering into it even slightly. But at least if I have a theoretical understanding of just the basic structure and like what the topics and everything, then that might be helpful for me if I'm hopefully sometime in my life when I'm at a higher level and I can enter more deeply into Bhajana-rahasya. I think it will be, that's what I always see whenever I try to study all these things. I'm kind of like, I'm not actually entering into it. I'm not going deep into it or anything like that. But at least if I ever do come to that level and I've become more serious in my practice and I'm able to chant more, it will be helpful having, that just a basic understanding of the structure and everything. So, all right. Haribol. Dandavat Pranam. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.